Obama's top 10 betrayals of the American people. Now, number 10, the politicizing of the IRS and other agencies. Obama turned them into political agencies of the left to suppress American patriots. For example, the IRS scandal, in which Tea Party organizers were targeted by IRS officials. That happened because Obama set the tone by calling some Americans his enemies. Obama even went so far as to repeatedly use an insulting absence slur to mock Tea Party members. Moving on to our number 9, firing of career generals. Obama damaged the top leadership of our military by firing many senior commanders who were not loyal to his leftist agenda. This purge put Obama's favored political opportunists in charge. National security was not only not their top priority, but they sought to weaken American security. One major general said, President Obama's agenda is decimating the morals of the U.S. ranks to the point members no longer feel prepared to fight or have the desire to win. That weakening of leadership led to the tragic death of Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans in Benghazi, Libya. On our number 8, criminal commutations. Obama released more prisoners than the past 11 presidents combined. Obama shortened the sentence of over 1,000 federal prison inmates, 342 of whom were serving life sentence. Some are violent offenders. These unprecedented rate of release made a mockery of the legal system that we Americans cherish. A trial by a jury of our peers is guaranteed in our Constitution. Jurors devote weeks of their personal time to fairly decide the verdict of these cases. But Obama decided to make himself a one-man jury. He chose to overrule those American jurors for his own political agenda. In addition to those prisoners' release, Obama in his final days rushed to release dozens of the most dangerous terrorists from Guantanamo Bay.
These were not civilians who were arrested for political crime. His own Justice Department, the Obama Justice Department, characterized these people as serious terrorists who had supplied material equipment to terrorist organizations in the Middle East and who had supplied nuclear components to Iran.
On our number 7, amnesty for illegals and other abuses of executive orders. Obama had a pattern of abuse of the presidential executive orders privilege, among other tactics, to simply ignore Congress. He blocked the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency from securing our borders. He allowed millions of unvetted illegal aliens to overflow into America.
It's a frightening thought, Islamic terrorist training camps right here in America in our backyards. The group Muslims of America, or Jamaat al-Furqa, as they're called in Pakistan, have established over 35 communities across the U.S. The group claims to be peaceful, but a videotape uncovered by the Christian Action Network shows that they can have a much more sinister side. The video, called The Soldiers of Allah, features Sheikh Mubarak Ali Ghanali, the mastermind and the leader of the group here in the U.S.
We are establishing training camps. You can reach us, at Groningen Group University offices in upstate New York, or in Canada, or in Michigan, or in South Carolina, or in Pakistan, wherever we are, you can reach us.
The tape goes on to teach Ghalani's American followers tactics in guerrilla warfare, including scaling mountains, subduing enemies, murdering guards, hijacking cars, kidnapping, weapons trading, and setting off explosives. Ghalani is a Pakistani national best known for allegedly setting up journalist Daniel Pearl in 2002.
He even trafficked guns to some of the most dangerous alien criminals through his Operation Fast and Furious program. Those guns led to the killing of American agents and as well as the death of hundreds of Mexican citizens. Obama's executive orders went far beyond those of any prior presidents. He simply went around our American system of checks and balance whenever he wanted to. Moving on to our number 6, race relations. Obama was hailed in the media as proof that color would no longer be a division in America. But the media also celebrated his election as historic, simply because he is of mixed race. Obama fueled and aggravated racial tension. In an early event, he recklessly condemned a police as having acted stupidly for simply following training procedures during a burglary call at the home of the prominent black scholar Henry Louis Gates Jr. Obama gave vocal moral support to the racist Black Lives Matter movement following the riots in Ferguson, Missouri, and its false narrative, hands up, don't shoot. He even accused police of bigotry during his speech at the memorial service of the 5 murdered officers in Dallas. Obama's words and actions have wedged an ugly racial divide among Americans. A recent Gallup poll shows how much damage to race relations have come back to America through Obama's policies and tone. On our number 5, flood of third world refugees. Obama's policies have created warfare and instability in the world, and a flood of refugees into America. Most of these migrants to our country are unvetted, practicing Muslims. To make it worse, these migrants are deliberately being housed together in segregated enclaves. Many of them will never assimilate into the American way of life.
It was very disturbing to pull this from the UN website in September that says of the 381,412 arrivals that came across the Mediterranean Sea just this year up to September, that 15% were children, 13% were women, and 72% were men.
Such a backlash against Syrian refugees coming to the United States after the word that some of these attackers may have passed through Syria. 31 governors now say they don't want them living in their states. Many presidential candidates calling for a ban or religious tests. Congress moving for a moratorium on new refugees.
They will not respect our values. Many of them are sympathizers with Islamic Sharia. Some of them are terrorists because they believe in Islam and the way of Muhammad. They will be a threat to our future for many years to come. Moving on to our number 4, purge of FBI training manuals. Obama systematically and quietly removed thousands of pages of FBI training materials, which had warned of Islam and jihad. This purge by Obama was kept so secret that in 2012, Judicial Watch was forced to file a federal lawsuit to compel the FBI to reveal records of the secret meeting held between the FBI and Islamic agenda groups in America. The Islamic group had been given decision power over which specific pages to be purged. This purged material had been built up over generations by very experienced researchers like Dr. Bill Warner. It will now take many years to restore the purged training material and to retrain the FBI agents on how to identify the Islamic threats. On our number 3, the rise of Islamic State. Obama began his presidency with several major international strikes against his own country. First, he went on an apology tour around the world to blame America for foreign problems. Next, he failed to morally support the people of Iran in 2009 when they rose up against the Islamic regime. Then, a couple of years later, his administration helped topple the regime in Egypt and Libya while withdrawing American troops from Iraq. He then destabilized Syria with a reckless red line ultimatum and threats of regime change against Assad. All of that allowed the Muslim supremacist and terrorist groups like Islamic State to enter with their mass brutality. Under Obama's policies, the entire region went on a fast track to a horrific Islamic conquest.
Intelligence officials in Pakistan say a local commander from the terrorist network Islamic State has admitted receiving funds transferred via the U.S. He made the confession while being interrogated.
Do you know that he made the Air Force drop leaflets telling the ISIS truck drivers to get out, that bombs were going to fall?
So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. Co-founder, crooked Hillary Clinton.
Number 2, declining labor participation and weak economic growth. Ever since Obama took office, the number of Americans with jobs began steeply falling. In recent months, it has been at a 40-year low. The final jobs report of Obama's presidency showed that the number of Americans not in the labor force rose by over 18% during his 2 terms. The Bureau of Labor Statistics revealed that as of December, a record 95 million Americans are not working at all. This loss of economic opportunity is a massive betrayal of millions of Americans who want to work but have given up. Obama's collectivist policies put a stranglehold on the economy all through his 8 years. He more than doubled the national debt to $20 trillion during his administration. Economic growth during Obama's presidency has been the slowest decade ever. Americans who lost those working years will never get them back. Many millions of lives have been financially ruined by Obama's betrayal on the economy. On our number 1, Obamacare. Yes, the number 1 betrayal by Obama is Obamacare. The large distribution of the healthcare industry was pushed through the Democratic Congress without a single Republican vote.
It's going to be very, very exciting. But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
To get it passed, Obama repeated 2 main lies over and over and over and over again. 1, the average American family will save $2,500 on their health care plan. For many millions of Americans, those things were simply not true. And Obama knew it from the start.
Orthopedic surgeon John Barrasso. I should also say he's a U.S. Senator. So, John, what's that giant stack of paper next to you?
This is the Red Tape Tower, John. It's over 7 feet tall, and these are just the regulations that have come out so far because of the Obama health care law. There's over 20,000 pages. You and I thought that the health care law, which was over 2,000 pages, was too long. But remember, so many times it said the Secretary of Health and Human Services will write the rules and regulations. This is just the first part of them that doctors and nurses and hospitals and patients and insurance companies all have to comply with under the president's health care law.
That was it, folks.